What's up, guys? What the fuck is up? That's the way to start it, right? So, for anybody who's actually been in game yet today, MLBB was super prominent and, didn't waste any time getting straight into pushing into our face, hey, there's new patch notes coming out. But the thing is that a lot of people don't quite understand the difference that the patch notes are making. So, I got a pen, I got a paper. Let's look at some of these different stat changes coming up with some of this different stuff, and let's see like what difference this is actually going to make for some of us in the game. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Right? So, let's see. Patch notes. This is patch new content. Okay. Cool. Let's look at this. We're just going to go from the top to bottom. We're going to look at it. I'm taking myself off the screen because I don't want to interfere. Right? So, new patch details revealed. Equipment update, controls optimization, map adjustments, and everything you want to know can be found here. We'll see about that. Patch update overview. As a fighter, I have no core equipment, no damage, and am not tanky enough in the late game.
Game controls feel weird. Can it be optimized? Don't worry, the new patch brings you content you've been waiting for.
That's what they sound like if you ask me. that character in specific. So let's look at this. Let's start from the top. Right, equipment update. So as I'm reading through this, I'm going to take note of the different equipment stats that they're claiming, and then I'm going to be comparing it directly to what the stats of these are directly following. Right, so we're going to start with the brute force breastplate. So I'll call that BFB. BFB. And then we've got War Axe. Okay. War Axe. So, for the brute force breastplate, passive dealing damage grants 6 extra physical and magical, right? Phys plus mag up to 6 times 6 stacks, right? And then gain 15% control and slow duration reduction at full stacks. Control plus slow reduction. Right? I don't care if it's at max stats. That's not what we're looking at, right? And then for the War Axe, I felt like that was pretty straightforward, honestly. Okay. So the passive for the War Axe, dealing damage grants 12 extra physical attack, 12 extra phys, and 2% plus 2% spell vamp. Right? Up to 6 stacks times 6 stacks. And then whenever you're at the 6 stacks, you're going to get 10% extra 2 damage. That is awesome. So I feel like that extra true damage is going to make something like War Axe, I feel like that's going to open up for even more than just fighters, because like that extra damage is definitely going to help some different heroes like Terizala. It's going to help different heroes like Yuzong, but I think that that's going to make, War Axe potentially usable for somebody like a Granger, where he's hitting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then just making that sixth bullet just way stronger. I think he's got 6 bullets, 6 or 7, something like that. But I do think that that's something that would make him pretty explosive. Sorry, I gotta read this.
Fighters lacking core equipment and damage in the mid to lane game. Problem solved.
So they're hoping that the fighter's core build is going to be the war axe plus plus the breastplate. I do think that the breastplate. I forget exactly what the type of boots are. I think it's the magic. There's a one that provides magic damage reduction with the boots, but it also gives you a CC reduction. So it does the same thing, and I think that that'll really stack well on top of that. Most people already go with that item, but I definitely think that's something that we're going to see really work well together. So, directly following that, they're going straight into the map adjustments. We'll come back to those after to see how those stack up against what they're currently at. So, in the 10 seconds before the turtle spawns after it's killed, a current will appear that flows towards and away from it. Following this current will constantly boost the hero's movement speed. That's really cool. They said that, now
Now EXP laners have more chances to swiftly join the battlefield.
So, I mean, cool. I guess a lot of the EXP laners don't have a lot of movement speed is maybe what they're getting to with that. Don't really think that that matters. But I think it'd be cool. I mean, I think that that'll make your rotations off of lanes into team objective fights definitely faster for anyone. So, okay, here's a cool one. So they changed the gold crab to be a gold crab and an EXP crab. So, and the gold crab on the gold lane will drop gold, as before. But the EXP crab is going to drop scrolls, which provide additional EXP, for the EXP lane. And I think that's really cool. I mean, I feel like that's what it should have already been, because up to this point, I don't feel like there's really been any difference. So with that being said, I feel like that adjustment makes sense. So let's see this controls optimization. During the basic attack intervals, tapping the attack button will cause the hero to approach the enemy. Right, that's what it was. Now, during the basic attack intervals, tapping the attack button will not trigger the pursuit. Oh, okay, so that's pretty much just saying that you can click whatever you want and it's not going to try to automatically pull your character towards something. That's cool, I guess. Now whether it's pursuing or retreating, the controls will become smoother. Smooth like my brain. Part 2. Optimized auto-targeting. Minions are near the turret and needed to be cleared. Unintentionally... What? Okay. Unintentionally attack the hero under the turret instead of minions when laning. Okay. Killed by the turret. Okay, so this is saying your minions were... Okay, this is giving you a situation where it's saying, hey, let's say that there are minions that are, just a little bit under the enemy team's turret. Instead of... you're using your hero and you accidentally attack the wrong thing or a person or whomever underneath the turret, and you're going to die for it. Cool, whatever. After, minions near the turret needed to be cleared. Only target enemy heroes at a certain distance, not too far away based on your attack range. Allied minions reach the turret, mission accomplished. Whatever. I feel like that's just saying that they made it to where your hero isn't going to lock on near turrets and try to get you to be attacking the enemy team or the enemy heroes within a certain range. Part 3. Precise targeting lock-on optimization. Previously, precise targeting only locks onto the enemy for one single basic attack. Precise targeting only locks onto the enemy for one single basic attack. The next attack might lead to target switching making it hard to secure the kill. Oh, so a lot of that honestly is based off of whatever you decide to run your hero. Like you'd have to go in your settings and change that, because some people have it to where it's like targeting the lowest health points. Some people have it to where it's targeting the closest enemy, and some people have like target lock on. So they're saying instead of it doing that, the next attack might lead to do that. So continuously lock on to low health point targets, allowing you to get the decisive kill. So this is saying pretty much that if you've already locked on to somebody and you're hitting them, there's not any chance of it, swapping you off and then punishing you for something that, you didn't mean to do. Floating text optimization.
We will pay attention to your core gaming experience and create updates to help you achieve a better gameplay experience. Feel free to provide feedback on any issues you encounter, and we will do our best to address them.
I don't know why I just made him Southern. But that's that, right? That's cool. They fixed the, in short, they're making it to where the basic attacks are not going to switch off of somebody in the middle of when you're attacking them. That's pretty much the biggest thing. And that your attacks aren't going to force you to pursue somebody, So, like, if you're running away from somebody and accidentally click the basic attack button, your hero's not going to turn around and be like, Valhalla! Not going to do that. So, cool. Good for them. The EXP crab is going to, the EXP lane crab is going to drop EXP instead of gold now. Occurrence going to help it is going to exist now 10 seconds before and after the turtles, the turtles spawn to help you engage the other stuff faster. Cool. So, let's look at some of these numbers, right? So, I don't expect a huge change, right? I'm not sure off the top of my head exactly. I know what the different items do, but to know the exact items, I don't know it. You guys can hate me or think that I'm the, biggest dumb idiot that you've ever seen, but let's look at them, right? So we'll start off with the War Axe, right? So it's a difference to the passive. So the passive for this, after dealing damage, gain 10 physical attack, 10 phys plus 2 penetration for 3 seconds. Every sec for 3 seconds. Marksman, mage, and support heroes only gain 50% of the physical attack and physical penetration. It stacks up to 8 times 8 plus 15% movement speed. So, okay, so just like that, we are looking at something. Let's look at the differences between those passives, right? So the way it is right now is that you're getting 10 physical damage added to your attack up to 8 times plus 2 penetration 8 times. So maxed out, this is going to give you 80 physical and about 16 penetration. That penetration is really nice. It seems like with the new one they're going to be getting rid of it, because I'm looking at my notes and it says 2% spell vamp. What the fuck is that about? That penetration, I feel like, allows the hero to effectively do a little bit more damage I'm not sure. Well, I guess by not having to put on another item. So right now I'm thinking of Terizla, right? I'm thinking of War Axe on Terizla, and what item are we typically going to put with the War Axe? We're typically going to put this thing right here. 20% spell vamp. Right? So, if we're looking at 20% spell vamp, whatever, right? Let's look at this other. Let's look at the new item. So 12 physical 12 physical times 6. So 6 70, about 72 physical. So it is 8 physical damage overall, less than what it is right now. But you're also going to be hitting the max stacks earlier, and you're going to be able to more effectively, I think, use the additional, which for them is going to be the damage reduction, or the CC and slow reduction. Because really, you're trading off. It seems like they're having us trade off the 15% movement speed for the additional CC reduction, which for me, again, I'm thinking of Terizla, right? As a Terizla, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be able to hit somebody and then know as you're hitting them, once you hit that max stacks, you're going to have a little bit more ability to like pursue. If you can max out those stacks. But I guess, you know, how often are we actually doing that? At 8. I think that's why they changed it to 6, was to make it easier to max out. So I definitely think like that extra slowing reduction, like reduction to all the snare type attacks, is definitely going to be beneficial. I just feel like that's in the benefit of a few specific heroes. I'm sorry. I think it's. I want both. Could you give me both? But the other thing is that spell vamp, right? So 6 times 2, right? 12. So we're looking at a 12% consistent spell vamp with that, right? So with my point with that is, if we're looking at Terizla, instead of slotting you know, Bloodlust axe, I wonder if you could get away with running the new axe with the spell vamp and then putting on another damage item like Hunter Strike, right? Where you're dealing damage to the same enemy, hero, or creep 5 times in a row, grants 50% extra movement speed, and then on top of that, you're getting extra cooldown reduction, which is about the same as the Bloodlust axe, but you get an extra 10 physical damage from it, which makes up for the difference, or just a little bit over the difference in what the War Axe would give you. It's going to give you 3 penetration more, but again, it's going to still be able to make you, so you could slot that and then still be able to make use of all of those benefits, I think. Or you could just, you know, throw on a Malefic Roar. I'm not really. I think it's cool, but I'm just not sure. I'm really not sure, because I do think that the War Axe was a pretty good item. I agree with making the stacks a little bit lower to max it out, but it's like, I feel like for some of these heroes, like Terizla, you just made it to where you just took Bloodlust axe out of the equation with the extra spell vamp and pretty much mandated an extra item to make up for the loss of penetration. Unless you guys just don't care about the penetration, then honestly you could look at just slotting another defensive item. So like, I guess you could stack on a blade armor depending on the map. You could slap on a cursed helmet. I guess you could even slap on, honestly, an oracle, and that would probably be nice. I think it just depends. So maybe it'll open up. Maybe we don't need the penetration. Maybe the penetration doesn't make as much of a difference as we're hoping it will. I think it just depends on the hero for that. But let's get to the brute force breastplate, right? Brute force breastplate. So, passive. Brute force casting skills and basic attacks grant wait, what? I think I had these two confused. I need to go back and look at this. Let's look. I think I confused the two. Right? Did I? Where are they at? No. Oh, it's the 10% extra true damage. The true damage instead of the penetration. Oh, yeah. I like that way more. Yeah. I didn't write true damage. I just left it blank. True damage. Okay, so with that said, the extra true damage for the War Axe, I definitely think makes it more viable than the penetration. Yeah. Yeah. It's the brute force breastplate that had the control and slowdown reduction. So instead of the speed bonus, what? I'm so confused right now. Let me look. Okay, yeah, it did give us a speed bonus. And before, the speed bonus stacked on top of the brute force breastplate to give you extra acceleration. You were fast as fuck, boy. Cool. Yeah, had a lot of like pursuing capability with that. But instead of that, it's giving you more finishing. Honestly, I think it about evens out. The extra speed is really nice, but that extra true damage, I definitely think will really help. And I do think that opens up things for like heroes like Granger and stuff like that. Yeah. That was my original thought. I don't know why. I'm looking at too many things at once. Brute force breastplate. I feel like I can't say that. BFB. Okay, so basic attack skills grant 2% movement speed, 2% movement, and 4 physical and magical, 4 phys plus mag at 5 stacks. Times 5 stacks, and that's what that does. So instead, before you get 2% movement speed times 5 stacks, so 10% movement speed, 10% movement speed plus 20 physical, 20 magic, right? 20 phys, 20 mag. As for now, you get 6 times 6 is 6 times 5 is 30. So 36. Wow, that's a lot of extra defense. So that's 36 physical plus 36 magic. So that's almost twice as much armor as before. That's a really big difference. I think I'm going to miss the movement speed. Sorry, I got notifications on. Rookie move. Lil Wayne, you guys heard of him? That's the boy. So that's a lot of extra protection. to be added on. That's almost twice as much. 20 physical and 20 magic time versus 36 and 36. Yeah, that's a big difference. And that 10% movement speed versus a 15% reduction in control and slowdown stuff. I mean, I think all in all, I think it'll be worth it. I feel like a lot of the time, the reason that we need so much movement speed is because there's so many slowing effects. So hopefully those paired up with, where are they at? The magic ones. Not the magic, tough. That's what I was thinking of. So the tough ones give you an extra 30%. So you stack that onto there, and you'd have, I don't know exactly how their math works, but let's say a 45%, just to make it easy on me, right? A 45% reduction, that's not how their math works. I'm well aware. You don't have to tell me. But I do think that that'll stack really well onto the new BFB, and I think that might make it a lot easier for some of these heroes to sustain and work their way, these fighters, through these hard-to-fight situations, in the middle of team fights. So I definitely think that the combination of the spell vamp on the war axe with the true damage and the new control and slowdown reduction, they're definitely buffs, right? I'm going to miss the penetration, and I'm going to miss the speed buffs coming from both of these items. But let's hope that, at least for the fighters, because that's what they explicitly said was going, they were doing it for. I do think that for the fighters, it's going to be very well in their benefit. Like I said, the extra damage, the extra sustain, and the ability to engage more fluidly in the middle of team fights, I think is going to be a good thing. So, with that being said, that concludes my my thoughts, opinions of some of the different stuff. I think all in all, a lot of them are really good changes. I feel like some of these things should have been done earlier. But you know what? No hate. They got to it. They got around to it. Cool. Good job, Moontown. I look forward to seeing the actual update so we can see, are we going to get all of this different stuff, or are they going to change it again? I hope that they come out with these, because I do think, the Yuzongs, I think the Terizlas, even Xborgs, are going to benefit a lot from it. I know Xborg really wants that extra movement speed, but yeah, I think it'll be good. But let me know your guys' thoughts, and stay tuned. But I'm ending this, so thanks for coming by. Don't do drugs, or do it. You're not hurting me. Just don't hurt anyone.